It's your daily dose of Donna afternoon edition. Happy Friday, June 6th. Thank you so much for joining me. It's not my normal time. It's not my normal hour. This feels weird. This feels strange. I don't even know what's going on. Can't believe I'm alive. It's the last day of school. School's out for summer. It feels so weird when school's out because I feel like it's me, right? Like it brings you back to being a child. Brings you back to being a kid. I feel like I can, party. I feel like I should be at a pool party right now, but my second grader, I don't have a second grader. They're great. They're getting so old so fast. My fourth grader is at a pool party right now. So I have to go pick him up in about an hour and a half. And then my sixth grader, I guess they're going to be fifth and seventh grader. My sixth grader is with me, but we did have like school festivities today and Lance is obviously not here. So I had to take one for the team and I had to miss my normal hour this morning, but I'm here for a Friday afternoon happy hour with you guys. I don't have a cocktail. I'm drinking, what flavor is this? My bubbly melted ice pop. Isn't that fun? This feels very summer. It's like a ice cream, like a icicle, like a popsicle. Bubbly. But we've got a juicy show to talk about today, you guys, because we're going to be talking about the Karen Read trial and what happened today. I watched the entire trial, today's trial. I even got Lance on board to watch the entire thing today. We're going to talk about crash daddies. We're going to talk about, Hottie McHottie, Dr. Wolf on the stand and his testimony compared to Blue Man Group last week, everything there. I'm going to tell you a little update on Blake Lively, some tea that I got from someone that is in her legal circle. This is tea. You heard it here first. No one knows. No one knows. Just the dosers and I. Dosers and me. It's not I. Just the dosers and me are going to know. So bookmark it because I got it. And lots of DMs from you guys about a live that went on this morning from Ask Two Lawyers. A lot of you guys are not happy. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But maybe we can do a little live watch about a certain part that a lot of you told me to go watch. So maybe we'll watch a minute or two of it today. And then some just random updates, right? Different updates from Bravo, Summer House castings. We have a lawsuit against Bravo, a $200 million or something insane lawsuit. I think it's something like that from a Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know. JoJo Siwa, we can talk about her. Just talk about fun things. Let's enjoy life today. It's Friday. Shabbat Shalom. Let's have so much more fun. Let's enjoy. Oh my gosh. Let's have fun, you guys. It's Friday. Everyone do the sprinkler. Drink your melted ice pop bubbly or drink a margarita. Drink whatever you want. Have a glass of wine, you guys. Tell me what you're drinking in the comments. Enjoy life. It's your daily dose of Donna. The comments are funny. I'm pregnant, so I'm drinking water. Well, congratulations, Mandy. Eat a gummy. Yes, eat a gummy and then give me some really fun, high comments. I can't eat gummies. I can't do edibles. I can't drink THC sodas. Like, I'm not good. I don't work well with any of that. But do you, boo. You do you, boo. Coffee Cake left a comment, but I don't know if it's directed towards me, but it's freaking me out. Are you yelling at me about this? Don't talk to me like an idiot, okay? I may not have a law degree, but I've spent 18 months on this case and I know more about these defense witnesses than you ever will. Me? Me? Who are we talking to? Okay, let's try to enjoy ourselves. Susie's already a few cosmopolitans in. We're going to have fun. I have a feeling that today's going to be Friday fun day. We're going to enjoy ourselves. Don't you worry. All right. Well, I will tell you that tickets for DosersLive are flying off the shelves. If I had shelves that they were on, they're flying off the online shelves, the proverbial online shelves. So make sure to go to dailydosepod.com/doserslive and buy yourselves a ticket, because trust me, if I can be this wild and crazy on a screen, imagine me doing my sprinkler in real life. We're going to party it up. Party it up. Don't you worry. Party it up. We can even do a dartboard with Judge Bev's face. That's what we should do. Pin the tail on the Judge Bev. Forget the donkey. Let's put a Judge Bev on a screen and we'll close our eyes. I don't know what this was. We'll close our eyes and we'll pin the tail on Judge Bev's face. That's what we'll do. Anne-Marie's coming at us strong from Spain. I saw a picture of Anne-Marie on Instagram the other day. Anne-Marie, I think you can get canceled for what you did, okay? Because it looked like you were in blackface, but really she was just in a mud bath. But I was like, whoa, Anne-Marie, I don't know if you should be doing that. People get canceled for less. I was very concerned, Anne-Marie, very concerned. Let's see. Dan says, Heather on husband Dan's account. Hi. Oh my God. You're drinking a glass of Chardonnay and you're already on your husband's account. What happens after 2 glasses of Chardonnay? Are you putting on his underwear? I'm concerned, Heather. I love you. Susie says, apologizing to your microphone made me cry laughing. I know. I apologize to inanimate objects when I'm podcasting. Oh my God. Okay, let's get on to the show. You guys. So where do we start? Should I give you my Blake Lively tea that I just got? Should we do the Blake Lively? Tell me in the comments right now. I'm just going to let you guys tell me what to do with today's show. You guys are running the show. I'm just sitting back. You're my producers, okay? You guys are my producers. I just sit back and chill. Tell me what to talk about. You guys tell me. Oh my God. Josie is bringing up, you know what? I don't want to do this, but I think this is important to talk about. This week has been horribly tragic in terms of world news. World news is always horribly tragic. But this story, Josie brought it up. I brought it up on my stories about this Decker family out of Washington. This fucking sorry to curse, horrible MFer father and those 3 beautiful, beautiful children, those daughters. The way that I can't handle watching the news and seeing that story, I don't even understand. Like the evil, the anger, I don't know how a mother goes on after that story. I don't understand how a mother goes on to lose all 3 of your kids in that way from your husband, of your ex-husband, from the father. I don't understand. And it's such a tragic story because allegedly she had to give them for visitation or else she was going to lose them, like because it was a judge's order. And he was a homeless man living out of a trailer or like in his car. I mean, I don't really know the details because I almost don't want to know the details, but this man is still on the loose. It is horrendous story. All of these stories about any parent losing their kid is horrible as is, but this is specifically tragic. Oh, it's just so horrible. Let's try to lighten up after that. Just bad, bad, bad story. I mean, it's on national news. It's everywhere. It's out. Yes, it's out Washington State. This poor woman and this man, this sick, sick man. But those girls just looked so beautiful and sweet. But I think they're bringing out I saw it today that they're bringing out major search teams out to find him. I mean, it's a big story, just awful. And another awful story that happened locally here in Los Angeles, a local high school, a private high school. In fact, it's like a high school that celebrities go to. Many celebrities send their kids to here in Studio City. Total tragic story. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. It hit the news, so it's all over the place. This is crazy. this story. At pickup, you can imagine everyone does this, right? You go to the pickup line, carpool, like you're just going to the parking lot to pick up your kids after school. Everyone's picking up their kids. They're just driving slowly in a line. You're in the pickup line picking up your kids. 3:00, kids get out of school. And somehow there's this wild freak accident where the kids somehow right at pickup, where cars are literally at a crawl, one car lurches forward by accident, and one of the teens, a ninth grader, or a 10th grader, a sophomore, is walking between the cars to get around to get into his parents' car, gets trapped between the cars, and dies at like an elite private school here in Los Angeles, in Studio City, just 2 days ago. What? Like, your brain can't capture like the tragedy. And apparently, and this is just like, we'll have to see what happens because I don't know if it's like out there. Apparently, the person driving that crashed was a freshman in college, a sister who was back home after school, like just finished her freshman year at Tulane or some college, and was just picking up their sibling, like doing afternoon pickup. And somehow maybe hit the gas and not the brake. It was a Rivian. I mean, can you imagine? Oh my God. Mystic Panda goes, what happened to having fun? Oh no. Okay, yes. Back to fun. It's just, but I feel like these stories just keep popping up. I'm like, oh, just hug your babies tight. Hug your babies tight. It is so awful. And don't text and drive. Okay. Let's move on. So Blake. Now, I can't handle Blake Lively anymore. I told you guys, I've had it up to here with her. She is so annoying. She's unleashing new products by the hour, on the hour. Literally on the hour, we have a new product. I'm surprised that she doesn't have a new canned bubbly line called, Betty Bubs. She is always on her stories. Now she released a story where she's making a floral arrangement saying, hire me for your funerals. I mean, what's wrong with this woman? She's sick in the head. But the reason why I bring her up is I think she's so desperate. She's so thirsty. She's just struggling for any sort of like anything. And now she's doing this weird, she's pushing her hair care line, right? And so because she doesn't have any friends, she has to pay for her friends. And by friends, I mean just anyone and everyone that she can like kind of hang out with and work with in terms of, working with for her hair. So Daily Mail even says that she assembles a squad of activists and she's kind of hanging out with these new friends and, she's doing anything she can possibly do. But now all she's doing is she's picking up these girls. For example, this new fashion guru, Danielle Filong, I'm probably saying it wrong, to do her hair. So there's this new video on TikTok where this girl, and like, I mean, look, get your bag, Danielle. I don't know exactly. It's saying the video is unavailable. I wonder if it really is unavailable or not. Is it possible that she deleted the video? Let's see if the video's gone. Is the video gone? Wait, you guys, I think the video's deleted. Hold on. Blake Lively, Danielle. Because it was there last night, and now it's saying it's not. It's gone. It's literally gone. The video is gone on TikTok. It says the video is currently unavailable. She pulled the video. Okay, So there was a TikTok last night that I was watching, and I put the link up on my notes, and now it's not available, but the Daily Mail article still is. Basically, it's this video, I don't know if you guys saw it, where she was doing this girl's hair, and it looked like this. Let's see if they have a screenshot of it at least. It's this girl. This is her. She has 525,000 followers on TikTok. So she's like this adorable Instagram, TikTok influencer, whatever. And she's getting her hair done. And all of the comments, this were the comments, the way it did nothing. Oh, this is interesting marketing. Justice for Justin. Danielle, run. Hair looks exactly the same. Let's be on the right side of history. Blake is looking for new friends. Like, the comments were so bad, which is probably why she deleted the video. But she should have just turned off the comments. There's not even a screenshot of the video. But essentially, the video looked like she was just kind of, you know, I guess just getting her hair done by Blake. Blake was hugging her and rubbing up on her and just doing all of this stuff. But the hair, I mean, is it really possible? Yeah, I mean, this is what it looked like. It was this video right over here, and it's totally gone. Yeah, it's completely gone. Okay, so she deleted the video. But the point is that she's doing all of these, she's acting just like nothing's wrong. And you can't do this. You can't up and completely ruin someone's life and then act like nothing's wrong. Like, we're just not there yet with you. We're just not there yet. So, Danielle, get your bag, but also have some morals. It's like here when I do Daily Dose of Donna, I get ads, I get companies reaching out to me directly or through my, ad manager every day saying, what are your thoughts of working with, for example, hers.com this week, or Ollie for pet food, or whatever it is? And I have to respond and say, oh my gosh, I love this brand, or I would be really interested, or this brand is so up my alley, or my audience would really like working with this brand. But if a company came to me and said, hey, what are your thoughts working with? And they name a brand that has nothing but bad press, or is aligned with a foundation or a company or like values that I don't agree with, I don't care how much money it is. It's not worth your reputation to take money from a company or a person or a brand that is bad for your reputation, or that it just doesn't make sense right now. She doesn't do good for a woman's reputation at this point right now. So that doesn't work for me. Next, the tea that I got about Blake. So I got a DM from a doser. I cannot say anyone, obviously. I can't say names, and I can't give you super specific details. But this person knows someone who is on Blake's legal team, okay? And has been on Blake's legal team from the beginning. This is not someone that just joined Blake's legal team. This is on Blake's legal team from the beginning. And wants nothing more than to get the F out of there. Okay? Specifically, I need to be so super careful not to say anything because I got a big, big warning about not releasing anything personal. So this person has been on the lawsuit from the beginning, dying to get off the case because it's such a mess, but they're stuck working on it. And at the end of the day, it's billable hours. Honestly, I guarantee you the attorneys that are working with Blake Lively are miserable. Guarantee it. Other than the fact that they're able to make so much money out of her because this will drag and drag and drag and drag and drag, I probably can guarantee that there is absolutely no way that they enjoy going to work every day, that when she calls, they're excited to talk to their client. I don't feel like they feel like it's collaborative. I doubt that they feel like this is a passion project and they really want justice for her because they feel like she is deserving of justice. You know, I think that when Brian Friedman talks about Justin, I think he speaks about it in like I care about him. I think he is a good man. I want the good people to win. I've learned about him and his team, and I think they are good people. I don't get that feeling from her side. I don't think that like Michael Gottlieb or any of those guys are sitting there and saying like, Blake is a good person and she deserves justice. Like, I just don't get that feeling at all. So I I have a feeling that they're probably like, Jesus fucking Christ, Blake Lively's on line one again. Don't you get that feeling? They're probably like, God damn it, she's calling again. I feel like that's happening at the every day. They're like, God, they're being driven to drink Betty Booze, you know? It's giving like Hank Brennan. Like I saw this picture of Hank Brennan this morning and I was like, this definitely is going on the cover photo of today's show, because when you see this picture, I mean, how this is the picture of every lawyer when Blake Lively calls them. Ah, no, not again. I can't do it. I don't want to take it. This is the picture of everyone when they have a bad smell. Hank Brennan is such a piece of shit, but we'll get there in just a second. It's a piece of shit. Now, I want to tell you this morning, so Ask Two Lawyers, in the comments, someone just brought up Ask Two Lawyers. And thank you, Anne-Marie. Hit the like and subscribe, guys. Daily Dose of Donna has been kind of hitting a little bit of slump of live watchers this week. Sometimes this happens. You know, you go through weeks where it gets thrown in the algorithm stronger on YouTube, and then some weeks where it's just not hitting as much. And I'm just going to blame you guys because I'm Blake Lively. I never take accountability. It has nothing to do with me. I'm amazing. It's really just your fault. So I have nothing to do with it. It's 100% your fault. It's you, retired tech teacher, and it's you, Jewel and Carol and Debbie and Tina and Velo and Michelle. Okay? It's not me. So just make sure you subscribe and like and comment. And if you want, share and watch it twice. It is holiday season. Actually, most people are starting their summer breaks and are on summer vacation. If I wasn't doing my show, I probably wouldn't watch my show. Just being honest. Just kidding. Of course I would. I can't get enough. I'm a doser. Okay. So, I got a lot of DMs this morning and a lot of tweets actually from people saying, and I can be honest, you can go look at my Twitter account and my mentions. People honestly tweeted me. I'm not like making this up, saying, I'm so frustrated watching Ask Two Lawyers this morning. Because this has been happening with the Ask Two Lawyers guys. When they first started covering the Blake Lively case, they started to really, they started to really cover it in what people deemed like a very fair for Justin side. And now they've slowly started to kind of, I guess, change their tune. Especially one of them, especially Stuart, who's the guy that's on the left in the screen. He's the one with the hair. Is that mean to say? It's just true. Then what happens was, now, I guess they did a show today where they were saying Blake Lively deserves like a fair trial or a fair process or whatever. I have not watched it, but a lot of you guys said watch a certain point of it because they get really, really angry, or one of them gets really defensive over Blake and kind of gets mad. I think it's Stuart. So I have not watched it. Let's watch it live together and let's kind of see what you guys are talking about and how we feel about it. I'd be curious to kind of, it's just Hank's face. Every time you see that face, what sound should we like think of? Every time we see Hank's smelly face, like, Every time I see Hank's face, I just think I'm like, I don't like it. Smell. Smelly face. Smelly cat. Smelly cat. He's so annoying. Let's go to their video and watch a moment of it. So I think it's around this time.
Some sort, those documents are protected by attorney-client privilege or the work product doctrine.
And apparently it was the communications with Edgewater. Now, that doesn't mean that the underlying text couldn't be produced. So if there was text on the phone or, messages were sent from Jennifer Abel's phone over to Leslie Sloan, the underlying evidence can still be had. It's just not the communications with Edgewater.
Yep.
All right. Here's a question. Why do you use a title? Why is the title of today's podcast what it is? Why Blake Lively deserves fair process? Yes, even now. And I'm the one who made that title. So maybe you guys can't speak for me, but
what were you thinking, Eric?
That was the idea. Yeah.
Well, Cindy, what I was thinking is that there's so many content creators out there that are just bashing Blake Lively daily. Talking about how horrible she is, what an awful person she is, and how she's losing her case and losing her friends, and everything is very bombastic, and everything is, a 5-alarm fire. And I would like to see Blake Lively get the same fairness and treatment that Justin Baldoni gets, and that is they have a right to take their claims to court. We certainly can take a position. Whether we want to be on Justin Baldoni's team, that's fine. If we want to be on Blake Lively's team, that's fine. But if we could be a little bit more respectful, we can't mandate this, obviously, but this is just my thoughts. I mean, we have content creators that are taking lawyers' heads and putting them on the bodies of snakes. We have other content creators calling Ezra Hudson a snake in the grass. Everything that Ezra Hudson does in this case is unethical. Everything that the lawyers for Blake Lively do is unethical. Everything that about Blake Lively is unethical. We once went over some of the logical fallacies. And if you find that you're just making personal attacks, if a small group of people are just continually making personal attacks against somebody, you may have to check yourself, because it would be nice if you could get into the facts and the law and discuss those. And it's okay to be transparent about your bias, who you like better, who you don't like. But the bombastic nature of what's happening to Blake Lively, I feel bad for Blake Lively. I think she is a good person, and I think that Ryan Reynolds is a good person. Are they flawed? Yes, just like all of us. We're all flawed. We're all flawed human beings. There's times where we have good days and bad days. There's days where we take advantage of our position in life. Keith, how many times have we've been traveling somewhere, and you're a lawyer, and some person tries to, whoever tries to get a business person tries to tell you how things are going to be. You take offense to it, and you maybe say things that you shouldn't say, and you take advantage of that situation because you have superior knowledge over that person. It happens. These people are all hurting. Justin Baldoni is hurting. Even Sarowitz is hurting, I believe. Nobody likes this litigation. I think they all want it over. It's just trying to find a path to resolve it. It's so hard right now because of the heat and the excitement and the bombastic nature of what's happening. But it does bother me that I feel like Blake Lively's not getting the same fair shake that Justin Baldoni is. And that's all I would want for all litigants. When we talk to a jury and we ask them in voir dire, we say, hey, you're going to be sitting on this jury, and one of the things we want to know is, are you going to be fair? And what that means is, are you going to be fair to them, the defense, for the plaintiff? And are you also going to be fair to us? But are we starting at the same starting blocks? Are you more defense minded, so you're giving them a little advantage, or are you more me advantaged and you're going to hold them back? We don't want that either. We want you to give us both a fair shake to win this trial.
Yeah.
And I do think the evidence here is quite strong for Justin Baldoni from what we've seen.
Yeah.
Say that again a little bit louder for everyone.
I do.
I do too.
And I really like Justin Baldoni. I mean, I never met him, never talked to him, but you've got content creators out there divining what is inside Blake Lively's head.
I have an idea where this is
telling
coming
us what
from,
she's
and I'll
thinking
tell you
and
in
how
a
she's
second.
feeling about that, and why she's making, and why her lawyers are thinking and doing things. Somebody was explaining how Brian Friedman filed something in 2 days, but not 4 days or something. And I'm like, how would you even begin to know that? And you can't know that. And so the title today was the idea, can we all give each other a little bit of grace? Can I go on one more thing,
Sure.
Keith? And that is, my dad just recently passed away, and you guys have, and the jury pool's been great about it, and
Okay.
Eric and
I don't
Keith
know
and everybody
how
here at the
much
office
longer
has been
he's
great
going on
it.
about
But
this,
because he
but
passed away, I just thought a lot about our talks, and he loved
okay. You can go and watch the rest of it. Here's what I'm going to say about it. Obviously, I disagree with so much of what he's saying. I do agree that everyone deserves a trial. Obviously, if we just assumed everyone to be guilty or innocent, Justin Baldoni wouldn't be getting a fair trial, and neither would Karen Reed. So, like, duh. Obviously, I believe that everyone deserves a fair trial, a fair process. But he's saying that like people aren't allowed to have their opinions. And we didn't go into this entire experience without a we didn't go like he okay, I want to read your super chat in just a second, Crystal. I got a little distracted because I'm curious what you have to say. Just give me 1 second. We didn't go into this Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni case with a predetermined opinion on Blake Lively. We went into it at 0, right? No one had any predetermined opinion on. Well, some people probably loved Blake Lively before this, even more than Justin Baldoni. And some people really liked Justin Baldoni more than Blake Lively. But I would say in general, it was kind of a 0-0. In fact, I would say more people really liked Ryan Reynolds more than Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively combined. And then after reading and inserting and learning and watching and hearing and seeing with our own 2 eyes, we were able to discern, hey, something feels off and this is not fair and this doesn't seem right. And we have decided with our own selves that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds do not feel like good people. So the fact that he's like, they are good people. They are nice people. That was the wildest thing that he said. Not the fact that they deserve a fair trial or a fair process or any of that bullshit. I do believe that they deserve that. I think that Stewart is also like conflating this idea with like due process and like this whole, I don't know, maybe it's just like also where we are in the country and like the whole, democratic process of like due process right now against Trump. And because I know that I think Stewart is very anti-Trump from what I've heard him say before. So maybe that's where he's connecting this, that this feels very like anti-due process. I wonder if that's where it's coming from. Maybe I'm making this up completely, but this is a crazy take. Now, I'm going to go through some of your comments in just a second, but I want to get this out before I forget it. This, in my opinion, has 100% to do with the content creator without a crystal ball. The reason why is because they now have personal beef with that content creator because she called them out specifically on her feed. She specifically called them out on her feed and said, I will no longer subscribe to them. I will not follow them. I will not follow anyone that claims that Blake Lively's lawyers are ethical, and they specifically do. And I will not, ever follow lawyers that do that. So she created a little bit of a war with them. And what they're saying about like calling these attorneys snakes and calling these attorneys this and calling this, all these big claims that they're saying content creators are doing, I think is very pointed towards things she does. It feels like this whole big tangent that they're saying is almost like a passive way of going after her. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. It doesn't feel, even though I straight up on my show say like Blake Lively annoys the shit out of me, I don't feel personally attacked with their comments. I don't feel like they're going after Zach either. Zach Peter. I don't feel like they're going after many people. I feel like this is a very pointed attack at someone that they felt attacked by without a crystal ball. And I could be wrong, but that's just my gut feeling because they already have this beef with her. I really don't want to get myself involved because I know that she's already gone after a few different content creators in this space, and I don't want to get myself involved with that. But the whole claim It's like, it's one thing to say innocent until proven guilty. I don't like that the whole internet is going after one side and not the other. Let's see how the trial plays out. That's where he should have left it. But to go a step further and be like, she's a good person. She's a nice person. He's a good person, Ryan Reynolds. He's a nice person. Makes me think something's fishy. What in the world has made him feel that way when everything has proven to be that they are not nice and good people in this trial or in this experience, right? Nothing has proven that they are such nice and good people. In fact, it's quite the opposite. They actually have had only horrible things come out against them. So this is very, very odd and very strange that he would take that side. And I'm actually curious. I would love to hear from him. Maybe I should invite them on my show, but then I'll get attacked. But I'd be very curious to hear from him where he gets that information, if not directly from someone that knows them personally. Maybe he knows someone that knows them. I don't know. It's an odd take. It's a really odd take because even people that know her personally and have worked with her personally do not call her a sweetheart. So that is an odd, strange take. I want to go back. I want to go through some of your comments. First of all, Crystal, super chat. Thank you. Stuart got all defensive when the narrator is that the producer in the microphone probably didn't agree that Blake was a good person. I love As Two Lawyers, but I was disappointed with this episode. Oh, so does he continue and say that in a little bit?
Loved history. And he was born in 1942. Mm-hmm. And he tells me that one of his first memories he remembers is McCarthyism.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Here at the hearing. And
I don't want to hear about McCarthyism.
Alcoholic, died of his words are famous. Talking, but you can see everything Blake Lively and her lawyers do is somehow evil and unethical and horrible and, the worst thing ever. And maybe think that maybe they're just making some missteps over there that are embarrassing, no doubt.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have as strong of a claim as Justin Baldoni. That's fine. We can talk about that. Those are things we can get into. But when you're calling people out personally and saying that they should be disbarred, and it just bothers me. So I would hope, if I could convey to anybody, can we give everybody, including Justin Baldoni, let's give everybody a free chance to go to a jury. Let the jury determine this case. And the judge is a good judge. He's going to make sure the jury gets the right evidence to make that determination. And I think we're going to get a good outcome from the jury. And after that, then you can say, aha, victory if you're the winning side, and you can also say, I knew it all along if you want to. But until then, let's quit attacking people on a personal level, especially for things like ethics and, if they're evil or not. That does bother me. I went on a long time. I apologize for that, Keith.
That's okay. I mean, I do care about the fairness of the process. I also care about talking about these issues. So when we're talking about 47.1, I don't think it helps to point out all the reasons why it's a horrible law, it's unconstitutional. I mean, maybe it is, and if that's your view of it, and you have a good articulation for why that is, but there's also a policy behind it that maybe it's important. And there are times when all of these laws result in bad results in certain cases, and that's just the way the law works. But I at least want to have the ability and the freedom to raise the issues and discuss them, and not feel like oh, you can't talk about this. Well, no, you can talk about it. In fact, we need to talk about it. We should talk about it, and that's what we're here to do. So, I mean, to me, that the title really was more of let's talk about this process and let's talk about it fairly, and how it should apply.
And the title, by the way, says why Blake Lively deserves a fair process. Yes, even now, the title is a little clickbaity, but that's okay. As a TikToker, as a YouTuber, it's not a bad title. I don't mind it as a way to get people to watch. That's fine.
The way it does apply. And then, like you said, ultimately it'll go to a jury, and the jury will tell us, and it'll tell us who's right and who's wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that too. And to agree and disagree with you at the same time, I don't really think Lively's a good person. I don't like Reynolds, but I still think that they do, deserve the shot at the trial. And yeah, they might lose in the trial, so then everyone can be happy. Not everyone. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Can I put you on the spot, Eric?
Please.
So, have you spent any time with Blake Lively?
No.
Have you spent any time with Ryan Reynolds?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is your perception of them from a public standpoint.
Yeah, but I have the right to.
Absolutely, you do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't.
Yeah.
But you've never spent any personal time with these people.
That's correct.
And you've never spent any time with Ezra Hudson or Brian Friedman or okay,
Justin Baldoni.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Is there anything else you wanted to go over?
Whoa.
Maybe this wouldn't take too long, but people are shouting out this footnote on the response. You guys are big into footnotes.
Okay.
I do love me a good footnote.
Did he do it without prejudice?
Well, that was fucking awkward.
For a second too.
Oh, the order.
Here, let me pull it up, Keith.
Okay,
let me get over here. Got it. Let's see here.
Yeah. Okay. So the Wayfair parties have provided evidence of an action.
Is there more? That was really uncomfortable for their producer or whoever the guy is that speaks. Oh my God. That was really uncomfortable. He has there is something going on there. I don't know if it's a relationship with Blake and Ryan. I think it's something going on with the lawyers. I think he has either a relationship with the lawyers. He either wants a relationship with Ezra Hudson or a relationship with like Gottlieb or he hates Brian Friedman or something else. Wait, hold on one second. What's going on? It was Tilted Lawyer who he was referencing. Rewind. Wait, what are you guys talking about? When? You have to give me a little bit more of a detail, you guys. Tell me what I need a little more details in the comments about when to go. And yes, he did just lose his father, Stu, and I'm going to be a little nicer than Hank Brennan on the stand with Lucky. I actually have a lot of sympathy if you have a close relationship with someone in your life and you lose them. Absolutely. Totally. And maybe that gave him perspective in this case in some capacity. Maybe it did. I don't really understand how it would give you perspective or make you like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively more, but that was a little bit of an interesting thing. Oh, the Tilted Lawyer, the snake in the grass comment is the Tilted Lawyer reference. Oh, okay, I got it. So the Tilted Lawyer calls her a snake in the grass, and then so a bunch of these content creators go after the lawyers. But I think that's okay. Like I've been watching so many lawyers through the Karen retrial. As you guys know, I'm obsessed with the lawyer, with Peter. I watch him almost daily. I love his takes on the Karen retrial every day. If you want like a good wrap up at the end of the trial day, he does a great job every single day. And it was a really, really nice, he does a really good, fair and balanced take. So like, for example, earlier this week on the Karen retrial, he was like, I don't think what the defense did was a good move. I don't think they should have called Kelly Dever or whatever this morning, But then the next day he's like, oh my God, what the hell did prosecution do? So like, I think that is a really good way. But this was a really strange take to go after your producer that way. He just said, I just don't think Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. And the way that Stewart just completely was like, do you know them? Do you know them? But Stewart, do you know them? That's what I want to say. Do you? You're going to bat for someone that you don't know. And clearly the majority of people's voices are saying that they're not good people. Why are you deciding? So maybe it's just a contrarian type of personality, like a Candace Owens. You know how like there's certain people out there that just always want to take the opposite side, just want to be contrarians just for shits and giggles, or just wants a little bit of like, they just want people to like get mad in the comments or something. Maybe that's kind of his personality. I don't know. That's wild. Okay. Anyway, I don't know if he talks about it anymore, but we can kind of probably
play out. Let's be fair about it.
So this is where, right now, probably Friedman's doing discovery, sending out the evidence to back him up.
Why not? Why wouldn't you want to file something?
Because it'll be dismissed. I mean, you don't want to file something that you're going to lose and give the other side a false win.
Right.
So what you'd rather do is let's spend the time to do the discovery. Let's get the evidence to back us up. And then let's file our motion with evidence. And then the judge can't tell us that we're making claims without evidence. There'll actually be evidence to back us up. That's what we want.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Anything else? Are we good?
I think that might be a good stop.
We're at an hour and 11
Yeah,
minutes.
we went a little
It's
late.
long time.
Hey, I'm going to do a little housekeeping and then you guys can wrap it up.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I've seen people that all these episodes get uploaded to the podcast apps, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. So
they are not going to get good comments on this one. Let's say everyone deserves a fair process. Unfortunately, oh, you guys can't see this. It's so small. Unfortunately, Blake Lively did not allow fairness in this when she published this in the New York Times. She may deserve a fair process, but she doesn't want one. She wants a process where she doesn't have to take accountability or responsibility. With this, Tanya says, with this, I'm out. Trolling and mocking Justin in a major motion picture and Ryan as a good person, poisoning the entire cast against Justin, banishing him and his family to a basement, and filing dubious claims and Blake as a good person. Argue all you want about 47.1 and its necessity or legitimacy. Of course they get their day in court, but don't make these two into something they are not. See, that's where they lost me. Totally argued for the fight. Like, even with Karen Reed, and we're going to go into Karen Reed right now, absolutely Karen Reed does not get, like, she is a warm, kind, sweet, loving person ever from me. Karen Reed does not come off like that to me, but I still don't think she hit John O'Keefe with his car. Like, two things can be true. Blake Lively, in their minds, if they want, she can be innocent from here until the day goes, until the sun goes down. But a nice person? What? That's a crazy situation. All right, let's get into the next story because I don't have too much time. Okay. All right. The next story is what happened today on the Karen Reed trial. All women in their right minds learned so much about science today. I got to learn all about Newton's law, the law of physics. I put on my science glasses. I was working out today at F45 and I decided I am going to learn science. And actually everyone now in the gym, they're like, so what's happening on the trial? And I was like, shh. I am in science class. Not only am I on trial and in, jury duty and in court, I am also learning science with my crash daddy. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Dr. Wolf took the stand, and man, oh man, Dr. Wolf, if I can just tell you, this is a good looking man. Hi, Lance. Yes, I am a married woman. I am taken. And my husband is even watching the trial now. But Dr. Wolf he is a man that has a big, big brain. And today, Dr. Wolf took the stand and showed us exactly what should actually take place when it comes to doing accident reconstruction. So they're basically disproving the idea that if Karen Reed did, if she did in fact hit John O'Keefe with her car, if she did, which I still don't believe she did, but if she did hit him, they're showing that what the Commonwealth's theory is, that not only he pirouetted, flew, and, rolled 500 feet or whatever across the lawn, but also his right arm wouldn't have those random holes in it, and his right arm wouldn't be all cut up, and the back of his head and the abrasions all over his random parts on his body, and he would have broken bones. And they're trying to prove that if the car did reverse 50 feet at 24 miles per hour, what damage would happen to the car and what damage would happen to the body, to show that what actually happened to the Lexus and what actually happened to John O'Keefe would not be the same. So first, last week or the week before, I can't remember when the Blue Man Group came on, the guy that talked about spreading his load all over his bed. Yes, that was a real thing. The guy last week that the prosecution brought was a man named Welcher. And this guy from this company, Aperture, got $400,000 to talk about spreading his load all over his bed. He said it 5 times throughout 2 days, and he actually did it. He showed us, if I spread my load all over my bed, this is not a joke. He was like, when you put your pencil on your hand, it hurts. But if you put your hand like this, it doesn't hurt. And if you sit in the corner of your bed, you put more weight. But if you spread your load all over your bed, this is what they spent $400,000 last week. And then remember, I showed you that he painted the back of his car blue, and then they drove the car 2 miles into his body, and he stood there, and then they just drove like this, and they painted the side of his arm blue. And then he was like, see, it touches your arm. The car touches your arm. The car touched John O'Keefe. The Lexus, they didn't break a taillight. They didn't damage a Lexus. They just painted blue and transferred blue paint onto an arm. And he was like, pay up $400,000. I proved that the accident happened. It was insane. It was like crazy making. But today we got to see how real accident reconstructionists work. And Dr. Wolf came up and showed us how it's done. And I was like, oh, hello. Now, this is the man, and I won't show you the entire thing.
Glass fragments.
But
what's the significance?
When he finally, see, this is science. I was like, oh, tell me more about how you do science. He showed all kinds of slides. He showed the actual taillight, what it looks like. I mean, look at the judge over here. She's like, is it lunchtime yet? I want some Chardonnay. Is it lunch? Is it lunch? He's talking about, Dr. Welcher's opinion. They get about 400,000. This was Dr. Welcher's Blue Man Group experiment.
Contact with his hand, his forearm, and his elbow.
What is a dynamic test as it relates to a static test?
So that's when something.
And he was like, this was, I'm not supposed to use the R word, but you know what I mean. Okay. So then they're showing how many holes actually showed up on John O'Keefe's sweater when he actually got hit by the car. So now, and then after he showed us a little science, come on, you guys, I learned all about fundamental equations today. I was like, shh, I'm learning about force, guys. Shh, I'm learning about force. Okay, then we took a little morning recess. And then when we came back from recess, he started to show us all of these different experiments.
The clear lens.
But these were real experiments. He took crash test dummies.
Correct, yes.
He took actual cars.
Slide 29, the next slide.
And he drove
What's
them.
depicted in this photograph? Video, please.
He drove them against stationary arms.
This is a camera that was mounted on top of the forklift that was suspending the arm.
Is this a still shot or is it a video?
It's a video.
What is the orientation of that arm as it relates to?
And he shows what happens if you hit the car at a certain speed. This is only 15 miles per hour. And if you hit the car on the arm.
This video, what you meant by more of a side swipe or clip.
Right. So this is where the hand and the wrist are kind of in the
shows,
area of
and then he shows at 29 miles per hour.
Can we move to the next? What does that suggest in terms of the force that was exerted just before we get to the other testing, the force that was exerted on the arms to tear off the tie lines?
Well, it indicates that the arm saw at least 150 pounds of force.
Okay. Next slide, please. What are we looking at in this video?
So this is going to be a slow motion video. You'll see the Lexus accelerate in reverse, making contact with the arm. And again, this is the 29 mile per hour impact test.
Okay. Next slide, please. And what is this?
This is a video, a high-speed video, so slow motion of test D at 29 miles per hour into the ATD arm that is suspended. So you'll see the Lexus.
And the point of this is that he's showing just the impact of all these different speeds on the car with just the arm. And then he brings out the full crash test dummy. So this is a 200-pound crash test dummy going 24 miles per hour. And then I believe he does a full 29 miles per hour. But exactly, he's mimicking what this accident would look like, where this car is driving 50 feet backwards at 24 miles per hour, which is honestly psycho. If you think about it, in the snow, that this drunk Karen Reed is going on. And Carol, I don't know if Carol is still here in the comments, but she was here earlier. But she just went to 34 Fairview because she's visiting Boston because her friend is going through chemo and she's there for a week. And she was like, I am on 34 Fairview. This is such a skinny street and it's got a curve in it. And there is absolutely no way that in the snow, this drunk woman is able to reverse 50 feet going 24 miles per hour without getting in a car accident. Remember, Higgins, and it didn't come up in this trial, but Higgins in the last trial had a Jeep that was parked on the street right there. in front of the mailbox. So like, why wouldn't she have hit? Oh, Carol is here. Why wouldn't she have hit the mailbox? I mean, the car in front of the mailbox. It doesn't make any sense. Of course, she would have crashed into the mailbox or into the house. I mean, sorry, into the yard, maybe into another car that was parked. None of it makes sense. But of course, nothing here is supposed to make sense. So she drives so fast back, and they mimic the exact accident that would have happened. Let me try to get to where they do the entire. I'm going to make it a little faster, you guys. So I'm going to go playback speed up to 1.5.
The orientation is to depict, again, the orientation that Dr. Welcher indicated in his static and dynamic test to show what happens when again, that ATD arm that we had is attached to a test dummy and is struck at 24 miles per hour.
Next slide, please. And what is this?
So this is a thermal image of the taillights just after the install with the average temperature at about just over 33 degrees Fahrenheit.
Next slide. And what are we looking at?
So you're looking at a top-down drone video with the Lexus here on the left that will accelerate in reverse up to 24 miles an hour, striking the ATD arm.
Let's watch that, please.
That's a long distance, guys. It's like 15 parked cars.
Next slide. What are we looking at in this slide?
So this is a top-down video from the top of the forklift or where the arm is suspended attached to the dummy.
Next slide. What is this view?
It's just another perspective. This is a slow
And
motion
then
video.
finally, and that's only if he's standing where your arm is
Next
just
slide.
out.
In this
So that would be
configuration,
standing
what-
as if he's like literally, if he's like hitchhiking. Okay. So you're standing so that just your arm is out, which looks insane, right? It would be like as if John O'Keefe is like standing like with his arm, you know, out to the street, like he's waving at something in the street. And then the car comes by and just hits his right arm, where he's not even facing the car. The car's behind him and he's facing the other side, and the car backs up and hits his right arm. That makes no sense whatsoever, but okay. That would be the way it would only hit his right arm. And then the final thing that they did is if they do a full 29 miles per hour and it hits the entire body.
And what are we seeing from these series of photos?
So this is obviously during the collision sequence. The body now has loaded into the lift gate in the back window. What you're seeing here is the back window shattering. And this is just a few split second later in time where, again, the body is continuing to move with the vehicle as it's contacted.
Next slide. And what is this?
This depicts the post-impact damage to the rear of the Lexus. As I
So they're
noted,
saying if a full body was just standing in the back of the car right here, hold on, I want to make sure it's big enough. Yeah. If full body right here was standing right in the middle and the car backed up in that same speed, what the damage would have been was not just the right tail light, it would have been completely effed up in the back, and that whole back glass window would have been smashed. So it wouldn't just be that little cracked tail light like we saw. It would have been an entirely totaled car. Okay? So he completely,
rear
you
window
know,
is completely
shows
shattered. There's
that
deeper-
with this kind of hitting a man, a 200-pound stationary man at that speed with 6,000-pound car would create major damage to the car.
and crush to the liftgate section of the vehicle. The bumper step was popped out, and then there was some minor fracturing in the bumper cover at the lower level.
Now they go to lunch, of course, because Bev needs like to, you know, suck in some Virginia Slims. And Hank Brennan comes in with he's so, you guys, I was like punching the air. Oh, I meant to tell you that at the beginning of trial or the beginning of his witness testimony, when he's up there, every question, and I'm not joking, this is not even sarcastic, almost every single question that Alan Jackson is asking, almost every single one, Brennan's like, objection, objection, objection. And what do you think Bev is doing up there? Sustained, 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 sustained. And then Brennan gets up there and starts asking these ridiculous questions. And Alan Jackson's like, objection, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. And yes, Brennan, he's such an asshole the way he asks these questions. So let's get into some of his testimony.
It would have been someone on the defense team.
Like a window, like a limo?
Oh, and you can't really hear Brennan either, which was so annoying. He was not close to the
And
mic.
ultimately, you passed both sections of that test?
Yes.
In your CV, you list your schooling and you list your degrees, don't you?
Yes.
You mentioned some of the things that you focused on in your academic experience, don't you?
Yes.
And you have publications.
Correct.
Recently, you did a publication regarding vehicle control history on Toyotas.
Correct.
Vehicle control history is data that is stored in a vehicle,
Yes.
and Toyota owns Lexus, correct?
Correct.
So you have familiarity with vehicle control history. In fact, you have a publication on it.
Yes.
In your entire resume, you only mention pedestrian collisions or that you're involved in pedestrian type events 3 times. Is there anything specific in your resume or your publications that show a published accomplishment, for example, in pedestrian collisions? Do you have any publications that have been peer reviewed or published in that area?
No, I don't have any publications in pedestrians.
You write or you note areas of specialty and you list a bunch: accident reconstruction, human factors, ED, all of your text communications with the defense.
Well, it's something that I routinely do. I work with attorneys
He
and
starts giving him shit for deleting text messages.
it would have been the whole text chain. I didn't individually delete them. It just, when you swipe, it just deletes the text chain.
After you deleted them, did you go into the recently deleted and then delete them so they were unavailable?
I don't recall doing that.
Well, you were asked to search your records of the text messages. Did you do a thorough search to see if you still had them or whether you had destroyed them all?
I checked my phone and I also checked with my phone carrier.
So do you know if they were still under the recently deleted part of your phone, would you go and take that extra step and totally destroy them?
From what I recall, I did not find any of the text messages, no.
He brings
I
up
think of my background and lighting and human factors. And as I mentioned earlier today, there's a direct correlation between time of day and pedestrian impacts, right? So my
Been qualified as an expert to testify over 20 times, didn't you?
I don't have the transcript. I believe I
hold
said
on.
approximately 20 times.
Well, when you say do your best, would you do that if you?
Injuries to determine whether or not a collision occurred, not the visibility.
So you weren't trying to mislead the jury, you were trying to help them because they wouldn't understand something that you were trying to explain? Is that the way you're phrasing this?
I think at the end of the day, it was to help them understand my background, how it relates to seeing a lot of pedestrian impacts.
Something is important that helps the jury get to the truth. Why would you offer to leave it out?
Well, I didn't leave it out.
No, but you offered to. You would have if requested. Why did you invite, why did you invite somebody else to interject in your independence and guide you to leave something out? Why would you even provide that invitation to them?
Again, it's because I didn't want them to get hung up on a statistic that just because we have more pedestrian impacts at night and in bad weather, that this alleged incident happened at night under bad weather, to give it more weight, to weight the evidence more because of that statistic. You done? Yes.
If you make a mistake,
Are you done? He says. By the way, Wolf handles himself so well. Wolf handles himself so well during this line of questioning from Brennan. And the jury is not stupid, right? The jury has to be able to see that the way Brennan talks to these witnesses is so horrendous and so cold and so weird. I mean, they have to see it, right?
mistake in court under oath, would you take the affirmative step on your own and correct that mistake?
I'll allow it.
I would do my best to do that, yes.
Well, when you say do your best, would you do that if you became aware of it?
I'm going to allow it.
Yes.
I'll allow it.
Before you testified in a proceeding last year, there was a hearing that you testified in front of Her Honor and other people that were here, correct?
Correct.
I wasn't here.
No.
You were.
Yes.
And you testified about your experience, didn't you?
Correct.
When you were
Yes.
sharing your experience with the court,
So he basically is saying, you're going to be honest, right? You promise when you're here on this jury, or on this witness stand, you promise to always be honest, right? You promise. And he goes, yes. Always you're going to be honest. And I'm like, shit. What does Brennan have on him that he's going to say that he lied? because he's about to catch him in a big lie. I'm like, oh God, what is it going to be? And I'm getting nervous now at this point, right? And this is what his big lie is. It's unbelievable.
Court, it was important for the court to have an accurate understanding of what your experience was because it was being evaluated in that hearing, wasn't it?
Correct.
When you testified to the court, you testified that you had been qualified as an expert to testify over 20 times, didn't you?
I don't have the transcript. I believe I said approximately 20 times.
The reality is you hadn't. You've only testified and been qualified 11 times.
Correct. I misunderstood the question. I thought it also encompassed deposition, so I added those two and approximated at 20.
And at some point when you realized you had made a mistake in your testimony to the court, you had a chance to come back when you testified last year and fix it and clarify the record, didn't you?
Correct, which is why I provided a comment with the specific breakdown for clarification.
And when you came back and testified under oath the second time, on the record under oath, did you clarify and fix the mistaken testimony that you had provided to David Owen?
I don't recall being asked a question. No.
It wasn't whether you're being asked. The question is, did you take the affirmative step to fix the misstatements under oath that you made?
Objection. I'm going to allow it.
I'm going to allow it.
Sure.
So then he goes, I'm going to approach. So basically his big catch was that he said, I testified in my life 20 times. And really he testified 11 times and has been deposed 8 times or whatever, 7 times. I'm like, this is the big lie that he's made. This is what we're catching him in. Now then when they come back from being approached, then he does something that I find to be such a sleazeball move.
Did you just leave it?
I'm not responsible for asking the question, sir.
Do you ever heard the terms confirmation bias?
Yes.
Do you know what confirmation bias is generally?
By the way, anyone else just feel like Brennan just like studies Alan Jackson at night and he's like, I think I'm going to do what Alan Jackson did. Or Leslie, I'm going to say the same thing. Confirmation bias. Ah, yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to put that in my briefcase for when I go up there on trial. I think I'm going to say that too. I feel like Alessi and Jackson did. I'm going to use that for my time too. Like, I feel like that's exactly how he lawyers. He like Googles. He's like 1-800-lawyer.com. Hey Siri, what are the best ways I can be a good prosecutor? Like he's the worst. Okay, watch what he does here. That's so effing weird and it's a trap. It's a trap because he doesn't do anything with it. Check this out.
Generally, yes.
Do you think that you suffer from any confirmation bias in this case?
No.
Do you have any close family that supports one side over the other? Not the facts or the data, but one side over the other.
Close family?
Yes.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Wife?
My wife?
Yes.
I don't really know what her thoughts are on the case.
May I approach?
He said, do you have any close friends or family? My wife? He brings up his wife. Then he goes, may I approach, and gives him something. I'm like, oh my God, did his wife like post something in a Facebook group or do something? I was like, oh my God, there's Ray from Australia. We got people in Spain, Australia. Everyone's vacationing this week. Oh my God. Jules says, Donna, your Hank Brennan and Cody Brown voice are one and the same. Is it official? Rachel Zoe is joining Beverly Hills Housewives. Is it official? I heard about that it was going to happen yesterday, but is it official now? OMG. That's kind of a good get. I think that's actually a good get. Rachel Zoe. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll talk about that in just a second. We're almost done with this.
Yes.
He comes up there and he gives him these papers. And I'm like, oh my God, his wife was like texting or tweeting or like posting about Karen Reed.
No, I have not.
Never seen it.
No.
Take it back. You're unaware of anything that may influence you to lean one way or another?
Correct.
When you first took a look at some of the facts in this case, you had some information. Since then, you've received a lot more, haven't you?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And then he doesn't do anything with it. Like he tried to literally trick him. And then he didn't do anything with it. What do you think that was all about? Okay, he continues to like try to take him down on the stand.
You can't always identify the exact position of the body, can you?
No, oftentimes it can be very difficult. Yes.
You would want to know if it is a collision between a car and a pedestrian, whether the person was fully impacted or it was a clipping type incident. Wouldn't you want to know that if you could?
That would certainly affect the trajectory. Yes.
And you would want to know, if you could, the body posture, whether the person was standing up straight or crouching.
If a collision occurred, yes.
Whether they were turning or standing straight, or they had their arm out. That's helpful information, isn't it?
It can be, but when we're talking about how quickly this impact duration is, right? If you recall back to the PowerPoint, right, we're talking about a 10 millisecond window. So however the body is positioned at contact, that's how it's positioned. It's not going to be able to have any significant movement or change in orientation in that 10 millisecond window.
The position of the body can change the trajectory of the person who's hit, can it?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Positioning of the body, the way they're positioned, that can change the trajectory if they're hit after they hit, can it?
It can, yes.
Whether they're moving towards the vehicle or away from it could affect the trajectory, couldn't it?
If they have some relative velocity, yeah.
Trying to determine the point of impact when you're looking at a scene, it's important when you do trajectory studies to know where the point of impact is.
You can't really hear Brennan because his voice is never by a microphone, but he's basically saying, is his body position going to change the effect of what's going to happen? And this guy keeps saying, yes, but I'm just working with what your witness, Dr. Welcher, has offered. All he's doing for this entire experiment is taking what the prosecution has brought to him, which is Dr. Welcher's Blue Man Group experiment. And that's it. And that's all. And so seriously, what he's doing here is literally just taking exactly what Dr. Welcher has provided. Just like the other witness said, I'm taking exactly what Burgess is providing. Remember the other witness the other day that was their version of Dr. Burgess? And like Hank Brennan keeps going at him and saying, this is a bad experiment. The arm is not the perfect weight of John O'Keefe's arm. And the speed is not the perfect weight of the speed. And this and that. And I'm thinking, dude, your guy was a blue man. Your guy was a blue arm with a 2 mile per hour car. Like, I don't understand how in the world you can be judging this full crazy experiment where they were literally taking Lexuses and driving them fucking 30 miles per hour. How can you compare? You have zero legs to stand on, Brennan. And finally, after like a really, really annoying cross-examination where Brennan was grasping at straws, literally grasping at straws, we finally had Alan Jackson back to do his final, what's it called? What is it called? His redirect or whatever.
The holes, the puncture holes.
And basically what he comes on is to ask more about the damage to the clothing. And this is important because there was no damage to the clothing upon originally getting hit. Without the body flying, there was no damage to the clothing. Not one hole from the taillight. And remember, John O'Keefe's body was found on the ground with all the holes in just the right arm, but there was no holes on any of his body from just the hit. And so on the redirect, he gets asked.
Let's see how I can get this to work.
Sweatshirt at the full, what you call the full on impact. Test F as in foxtrot.
I don't have any of those in the PowerPoint.
Okay. The photo that you showed, if I could ask Ms. Gilman to show the same photograph that she showed earlier of the subsequent to test F as in foxtrot with the holes we see.
If she can.
If she may.
Can you do that, Ms. Gilman?
Very kind.
Thank you.
Dr. Wolf, you're shown just the left arm underneath the, whatever you call the dummy, Randy, right?
Yes.
Did Mr. Brennan show you the rest of the sweatshirt?
No.
what did the rest of the sweatshirt look like after this full-on impact when he was launched on the asphalt?
Mangled. So there was not only significant road rash to the clothing all over the torso section, the left arm, the right arm. There was holes in many different locations of various sizes. There was also just on the skin of the dummy, there was road rash on the face had been scraped. The torso had been scraped. So there was significant body damage to the torso as well.
Taking just the sweatshirt, separating that out. What about the bodice of the sweatshirt, the front of the sweatshirt? Were there holes and frays and damage to the front?
It was covered in all of those, yes.
What about the back of the sweatshirt? Did that also have damage?
I don't believe the back, because I think he fell onto his stomach.
What about the other arm?
Yes, both arms did.
Were the holes and frays larger than the holes, the puncture holes that you saw on John O'Keefe's sweatshirt?
They were certainly larger and, again, spread out amongst the entirety of the sweatshirt, at least on the front side.
Was the damage to the sweatshirt that you saw in this experiment consistent with the damage or defects that you saw in just the right arm, those 9 puncture holes on the right arm of the sweatshirt of John O'Keefe?
No, this is distinctly road rash. There's a clear distinction between the two.
So basically, he's saying this is totally not what we saw on John O'Keefe's body. So we're going to see him again on Monday. I think that the trial is I think the defense is going to rest their case at some point next week, which feels like we're coming up soon. Ugh, it makes me nervous. Now, our final story, breaking news just literally broke as we were talking to Hottie Dr. Wolf. We have a new cast member on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The rumors are true. I heard this yesterday. I'm super excited about this one. Rachel Zoe, it's bananas, is joining Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You guys, this is a big, exciting get. Let's hear what she has to say about it.
I am coming back to Bravo. I am joining the cast of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's been a while, and you've been asking me to come back to television, and I said when the stars align, or it makes sense, or I have enough to say to share with all of you, and now is the time. Really excited to be with all of you again, and I hope you are too, so let's have some fun. Mwah. It's official.
Okay, this is so exciting. I'll tell you why. Beverly Hills really needs like a good kick in the ass. You know what I mean? They had a pretty good season, I have to be honest. Last season, I thought they did, but now Garcelle's gone. I feel like they need a star. They need star power. Kyle's like dead fish, right? But she'll never go anywhere. So now we have, so far, we have Kyle, Sutton, Dorit. We have Jennifer Tilly. We have Bose. We have Rachel Zoe. We have Erica Jane. Unless someone is leaving. I don't know if anyone's leaving. Did I skip anyone? I don't know if I skipped anyone. Rachel Zoe is amazing TV. If you guys have any time and you want to catch up, watch her original show on Peacock. Did I say that weird? Peacock. If you watch her original show, I just actually re-watched a few episodes of season 1 of her original show. It was one of my first, it wasn't one of my first reality shows, but I remember in the 2010s watching her show. And actually, that's how I know Amy Phillips, the podcaster. And she used to be on Sirius Radio because she went viral doing these Rachel Zoe impressions. And I would bring her in casting to audition because I was obsessed with her. And this is before she got hooked up with Andy Cohen and got into the Bravo space. But Rachel Zoe is just such a good caricature. And she just went through this divorce to Roger, who she was with for ever. I never thought they'd ever separate. She has 2 boys who are kind of my boys' age. They're a little bit younger, I want to say, 2 really adorable boys. And Brad Goreski, who is a huge stylist. He's Demi Moore's prime stylist. He's a very big fashion guru, and he's married to Gary Janetti. And this is kind of weird because those 2 love to talk about Real Housewives. I'm dying to know if he has anything to say about this because Brad always does these Real Housewives recaps, and he gets dressed up like them. And he does not have a good relationship at all with Rachel Zoe. In fact, he used to work with Rachel Zoe. He comes on to Rachel Zoe's show in season 1, I think, and he ends up working for her. And then he ends up having a huge falling out with her. And so that's going to be very, very weird if, like, I think that's going to be kind of strange. It's funny because one of her assistants on the show, Taylor, and I went to high school together. She and I used to party together in high school, the girl that was her assistant on that show. But I think she'll obviously bring fashion. She'll definitely bring the career. She's got such like an outlandish life. She's a proud Jew. I'm very proud of that. And she actually talks about being Jewish, unlike Kyle Richards, who has not mentioned being Jewish not once since October 7th. Real weird about that. That is always shocking to me. And yeah, I think that's a really good get for Beverly Hills. I'm excited about that. That's it, you guys. That's it, folks. Shabbat shalom. Welcome for the weekend. Happy Friday. It's already 4 p.m. What are you guys doing tonight? I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you for being here and hanging out with me. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday. It's almost my birthday. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Thanks for sticking around and sticking with me. And I'll talk to you guys on Patreon this weekend. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your holidays and your vacations. Bye. Love you.